Hey everyone, welcome back. So today's video I'm pretty excited for because I was challenged to pick my top 10 Babysitter Club books, and I feel like I've talked about the Babysitters Club a lot on my channel because it was what I first started reading when I was a young girl. And of course I read everything, and the regular series, the mystery, the super specials, even like Babysitter's Little Sister I read, even though I felt like that kind of like I was going backwards, in my reading. Like, instead of reading more challenging things, then I started reading Little Sister, and I'm like, this is a little too easy for me. But just the Babysitter Club holds such a special place in my heart. If you are a part of my Snapchat fam, I kind of had like a short story time on why I love the Babysitters Club so much and what it means to me. But Babysitters Club, I just felt like takes some credit in my life for helping me stay on a good path. I mentioned that, I've had some bad things happen in my childhood, and it was so nice to be able to escape into this different world. And like, what's more wholesome than the Babysitters Club? I learned so many lessons from them. I feel like I learned how to be a good person, how to get over obstacles. Like, I just really credit the Babysitters Club a lot for helping me get through some tough times. So it really will. The Babysitters Club will always hold a special place in my heart. So when I was challenged to pick 10, I was very nervous because I was like, how do you pick just 10? And I have to say, I have 11. And someone in my Snapchat fam said, why don't you just say it's your top 10 and an honorable mention? So I have, I think, 8 from the regular series, and then 2 super specials and 1 mystery. So I'm going to say my mystery is like my honorable mention. Hopefully that will work. But if you'd like to see my top 10, just please go through the list. I was writing down books that when I saw the title, it immediately took my mind somewhere. It made me remember feelings that I felt while reading it. It made me remember lessons that I learned. It made me remember wanting to try something out for myself. Like, those are the books that I wanted to feature here, not just books that I thought like were fun or funny or, the best to read, but like things that 20 years after I've read them, I can still recall vivid memories. So those are the ones that I wanted to pick. So those will be the ones that are included in here. But the first one, of course, has to be Kristy's Great Idea, because obviously that's number 1. That's what started everything. That's what kicked off the entire Babysitter Club craziness. So I sometimes have to wonder if Anna Martin knew when she sat down to write this series, like, what it would become, because how amazing. I chose is Logan Likes Marianne as book number 10 in the series, and I chose this one because who doesn't love Logan and Marianne? Like, they were like the bomb couple. They were relationship goals before relationship goals was even a hashtag, before there was even a hashtag. You know what I'm saying? And I absolutely loved their relationship, and they were everything. The third one I picked, I'm not going in any specific order. I'm basically going in numerical order for the books. So I'm not like number 10 is, number 9 is. So just gonna throw that out there. But the next one I have on my list is Jessi's Secret Language. This was number 16. I remember reading this, and the reason why I chose it on my list is because I can recall where I was sitting when I started reading this book. I was at my stepdad's parents' house, and they had a neighbor, and they had like a tree in their yard, and I went under there and sat under that tree and read this book. Like, I can recall that memory. And I remember another thing why I loved it so much is because it made me want to learn sign language. In the book, Jessi has to learn sign language for one of her charges. And I mean, I went out and I bought a book, and I learned that like A, B, C, D, E. Okay, that's probably where I'm gonna end, but like, I know there's like some other random letters. Like, I knew sign language for a good while, like a few basic, very basic, but I knew I could do every single letter, and I could do some like basic words and sentences, and it was because this book inspired me to learn sign language. So thank you. I have is Marianne in the Memory Garden. This was number 93, and I remember this is because Marianne loses a classmate in a car accident, and I just remember not experiencing death in my life up to this point, and just kind of the feelings that it brought to me, and what it made me think about. And, you know, it goes into a lot of life and death and how to deal with death and how to deal with death of friends. And I can remember reading it and feeling a lot of feelings for it and being able to understand, even though I've never gone through it, I felt like I could understand Marianne and her feelings. So that was another one that stuck out to me. Then we had book 100, which was Kristy's worst idea, which is where Kristy wanted to disable the Babysitters Club. And I remember reading this one, like seeing it was going to come out and then picking it up to read and being like, no, this series can't end. Like, what's happening? I need a new book every single month. What is going on? This can't be the end of it. And yeah, I can remember the feelings that it brought in me, like, Mom, no, it's going to be over. It can't be over. It wasn't over. On there is Abby's Twin, and this is number 104. This is the book where Abby's twin sister gets diagnosed with scoliosis and has to wear a brace and all these like really bad things. But I remember then becoming super paranoid that I was gonna have scoliosis, and we would have scoliosis tests in our school. And I remember we'd have to, it was like always during gym class, and we would have to go in, you know, take our like baggy t-shirts off, bend down and touch our toes, and they would like feel your spine as you bent down, and they would like, if you were okay, like you could go back out to gym, and if you weren't okay, you had to go into the nurse's office and they had to do another test on you. And I remember the day came, I was either in 7th or 8th grade because I was at the middle school, and I bent down and they took me to the nurse's office for further testing, and I was just like, I'm gonna have to wear a brace, and she had to buy bigger shirts, and like I can remember vividly feeling all these feelings because I'd read it in the book and I knew what to expect, and like I was ready for my scoliosis diagnosis, but I didn't have it, so that was good. And the last one that I have from the regular series is The Fire at Marianne's House, which is number 131. And I remember this one because then after I read it, I was just for sure that our house was gonna burn down. I mean, I made my mom go out and buy me like a fireproof box, and I put really important things in it, like books. And like I was like preaching to my mom about fire safety and how we needed more fireproof boxes in the house. And I was teaching my little brother what we would do when the fire started, how we would get out, like who's gonna open the window and who's gonna jump. I was telling our neighbors, like, when you see our house on fire, you know, come over with a mattress because me and John are going to jump out the window and we need to land on the mattress. Like I was just for sure that our house was going to burn down at any moment because of this book. And I was so scared. I can't remember for how long it was that I was like into this, but I think both like my mom, my brother, and the neighbors were like, just stop. One of the specials that I picked out, one was Babysitters on Board, which was the super special number 1, and it's where they all get to go on a cruise ship. I've never been on a cruise ship yet to this day as I'm filming this, but I remember it just making me want to go on a cruise so bad, and I would like become obsessed about it. I would never leave my mom alone. We needed to go on a cruise. I probably read this book, I don't even know how many times I read this book. I would just constantly reread it because it was so interesting for me to learn like the different stops that they went to. I'm a huge travel bug too, so that probably, I mean, I've always been a huge travel bug, so that probably had a lot to do with it. But I loved reading the different places they were going, you know, how they ate, the activities that they got to do on there. It's bomb. Another one I have is Babysitter's Island Adventure, which is the super special number 4. This one I loved so much. It's where a couple of the babysitters go out with their charges. They learn how to do a boat. What am I trying to say? Steer a boat? Drive a boat? Sail a boat, you know. And a storm comes and they end up getting stuck on an island, and this book moved me so much. I remember it was in elementary school. I think it was in elementary school. It was either elementary or middle school. I can remember, I can see the classroom that I'm in. It was elementary school. I think I was in either 5th or 6th grade, because I was on an upper level. But I can remember being in that classroom and we had to write a report. I don't exactly remember what like the paper or the report was supposed to be on, but I basically like plagiarized this novel. I mean, it was about 2 friends who went out on a boat with a bunch of little kids and they got stuck and they had to spend the night in a cave. So I mean, my very early works of my books that I wrote were basically plagiarized from Anna Martin and also the Olsen twins. They had a book series out. Basically that's what my really early works are, in case anyone's wondering. I do not write my own stuff though, don't worry. But this book I just thought it was so interesting. I learned a lot of like survival skills, I feel like. I just had a lot of fun reading it. I was so worried. I remember being like really scared that they weren't going to be rescued, and I'm like, what's happening here? And then the last one, so this should be number 11 and my honorable mention because it's a mystery novel. I'm sorry, I couldn't pick 10. It was so hard. I did a really good job, and I actually thought, I went through my initial list and I crossed things off and I thought I got to 10 and I was so pumped, and then I recounted and I realized it was 11. It was a bad night. But I have The Babysitter's Haunted House, which is number 1. And I can remember reading this. My mom used to play bingo. Like, we would go to a bingo hall and we'd have like the bingo dabbers and get popcorn, and like her sisters came and it was a big deal. But when I was the only child that would go with her, I would just bring my books and I would read. She'd usually let me like play a game, but I wasn't very into it. I would usually just sit there reading this and being so scared, and being in this like crowded bingo hall, and people are shouting and people are excited and people are yelling bingo, and I'm reading and in my own world and so afraid, and I was like scooting closer and closer and closer to my mom, like, Mom, I'm so scared right now. It was so funny. But yeah, that's just a vivid memory that I have, that I can remember reading that book. And I don't think I read the full book while we were at bingo, because those like mysteries and super specials were really thick books, but I remember reading a big chunk of it there, just being like terrified out of my mind. Alright guys, so those are my top 10 with my 1 honorable mystery special, my favorite Babysitter Club books. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun researching the books and like being brought back to a series that means so much to me, and that I love so much, and that will always hold something special in my heart. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please do give it a thumbs up if you did. Make sure you are subscribed. I think the 1K giveaway will still be going on. Yes, while this video goes up, the giveaway is still going on. I will leave that linked in the description box below, but make sure you get entered into my giveaway. If you guys have any other future video ideas that you would like me to do, please just comment below and let me know. I was really glad someone mentioned this one, because I don't feel like I would have thought of it myself, so thank you so much. I had a great time coming up with these books for you. I would love to hear some of your favorite Babysitter Club books. Please do leave those in the comments below. I would just love to know what your favorite ones are too. It was so fun to go back in the day and remember where I was when I read them, the feelings that it brought up for me, and it was just so much fun. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!